Smile. Smile. Candy camera.
Yeah, no thanks.
National broadcast.
So the two brochures for other people who are interested. One is to buy electricity from wind. It forces them to start to purchase additional
Oh, no, I was actually going to because when you came, I was going to be like, what do you want me to give you a bunch of things. Hi, everybody. We're not starting just yet, but if there's an empty seat by you, if you could raise your hand and wave so others can join you, become friends, BFFs, etc., etc. But yeah, we'll start. Okay, yeah, that's perfect. So, I'll just, yeah, to just recline. You know what? I understand. Yeah.
Did I give you one of these?
Okay.
Okay.
So perfect. And did you want me to? I can bring you down water. All right. Hello, everybody. Again, if you have an empty seat right by you, please raise your hand. And Steve, the gentleman up front, has just informed me that there are 2 seats together in the front row. So.
And right here, too.
Oh, and right there in the middle, too. So if you guys are interested, you know where to go. But I also just wanted to say this is going to be filmed. The thing is, I'm not encouraging you guys to wear makeup or anything, but please, when the question and answer session comes, say your question as loud as possible, and we would appreciate that tremendously. That, and I also like hearing what people's questions are, because sometimes we talk a bit softly, so really belt it out. We want to know what you're going to ask. But hello, everybody, and welcome to Brookline BookSmith. My name is Jamie Tan, and I will be your event host this evening. Brookline BookSmith is well known for its careful selection of books and also the delightful events we host here every month. On Monday, January 30th at 7 p.m., Doc Hendley will be stopping by to share his book, Wine to Water, A Bartender's Quest to Bring Clean Water to the World, where he shares his journey from charity wine tastings to travels to Sudan. On Wednesday, February 1st at 7 p.m., Rosemarie Terenzio will join us with her book, Fairy Tale Interrupted, a memoir about her 5 years working with John F. Kennedy Jr. And also, on Wednesday, February 29th, we will be hosting author Jodi Picoult at the Coolidge Corner Theater. So if you guys are fans and would like to attend, we have tickets available at our register with every pre-purchase of the book. And it's selling out quickly, so please do get them soon. But for more information about these and other events, please friend us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at BookSmith Tweets, I apologize. Join our email list or visit our website at brooklinebooksmith.com. And before we begin the talk, I'm going to bring up Mary Dewart right here.
So great to see so many of you here tonight. I'm Mary Dewart from Climate Change Action Brookline. I wanted to tell you how important is the work we do. We help people connect with ways to create a greener future, and as all of you know, it's one of the most important issues of our time. One of the things that we do is connect people with a program called Green Homes Brookline. You've seen a couple of CCAP people passing this around. Take a serious look at this. This is a money-saving deal. You won't stop losing money if you help insulate and air seal your home. A lot of it, $3,500, it's a town-sponsored program. You can save a lot of money. And also by signing up for NSTAR Greens, you can reduce your carbon footprint 40% by the click of a mouse in 5 minutes because you get electricity through wind. And most importantly, I just want to thank the BookSmith for this wonderful collaboration and co-sponsorship of bringing Frances Moore Lappe here. It's a dream come true. In 1971, I bought her book, I think it was 1971, and I ground wheat and things like that up in the hills of Vermont. But today in Brookline, I'm working with a group of wonderful people, very committed activists, and we've created Brookline Climate Week. And here, I passed out some maps earlier. This event is tonight. Climate Week will extend through the weekend, and I encourage you to come to Brookline Village on Saturday particularly. We have over 12 events, including Brookline's first winter marketplace and Green Homes Energy, meet the Green Homes Energy experts and other wonderful events. And then on Sunday, there's a walk along the Muddy River. So check out the 2 sites that I've mentioned and others on the map. So thank you very much, and thanks to Dana and Evan for the event.
One last reminder, if you have cell phones, which we all do, please turn them off or on vibrate. And my very quick introduction. Usually when writing my introductions, I enjoy listing awards that authors have won because it makes you take a step back and go, wow, we are listening to this person who has won X, Y, and Z. I started doing that with Frances, except I stopped because where would I start? Would I start with her 18 honorary degrees, including some from respected universities in town? Would I start with the groundbreaking publication of Diet for a Small Planet, her devotion to the Small Planet Fund, which she co-funded with her daughter, along with the Small Planet Institute, or perhaps her contributions in changing the way America eats? Well, I'm just going to say Frances Moore Lappe is in front of us. So without further ado.
Thank you. I'm so proud to be here. I love this bookstore, and to be speaking on behalf of climate action is so exciting for me tonight. And on top of that, 30 hours ago, my 3rd granddaughter was born. And my Olympian birthing daughter, she did it, well, let me put it this way. She named her baby Rosa, in part for Rosa Parks, and she labored to produce through natural childbirth a 10-pound, 5-ounce baby! So Rosa entered this world fully prepared to live out the legacy of her namesake, Rosa Parks. And I couldn't be more happy. If I seem a little bit over the top tonight, you will forgive me. So hooray for Anna, hooray for Rosa, and for grandmother here. So this one's for you, Rosa. This book began, as you know, this book meaning EcoMind, began 40 years ago. This is a grandchild of Diet for a Small Planet in a very direct way, in the sense that I was sitting in the UC Berkeley library, and it began to dawn on me that as I asked the question, why hunger in the world, I realized that we human beings, this incredibly bright species, were actively creating scarcity out of plenty. What? What? We are taking, and today, of course, it's more true, only about half of the grain produced in the world actually gets to human beings first. About 1/3 of it is fed to livestock, or more than 1/3, and now, you know in the US that corn going to feed cars has surpassed what is going to feed animals. So that, of course, is not to mention the fact that worldwide 1/3 of all food is simply wasted, and much of that is because people are too poor in the global south to pay for basic storage to protect the food that they grow. And here in the US, over 40% of our food is wasted because of all the ways that you can just imagine. So my point was that as a young woman, at 27, when Diet for a Small Planet came out, I realized that, wait a minute, we start from the premise of scarcity, and we actually end up manifesting what we say we most fear. So my questions kept growing over the decades to lead me to the question that I ask in this book, and that is, what could possibly be powerful enough to have us creating a world that none of us as individuals would choose? Because I don't think anybody gets up in the morning and says, yes, climate chaos, I'm gonna heat up the planet today. What can I do? Or yes, another child dying of hunger, that's a good idea. And yet that's the world we're living in. Now, many more people are going hungry in the world, despite the fact that 20 to 30% more food is being produced today for each person on Earth than there was when I wrote Diet for a Small Planet. So how can we make sense of it? What could be powerful enough? And over the decades, and I love to say that, you know, it's great to get old and you can talk about over the decades, and you feel like, well, somebody's got to listen, because doesn't that sound a little authoritative? You can say over the decades. I gradually began to see, with a lot of great teachers, particularly the work of Erich Fromm, many of you, he needs to be rediscovered. He was well-read in the 70s. But his book, The Anatomy of Human Destructiveness, helped me see that, in fact, what neuroscientists are now showing more and more true is that we human beings see the world through a mental map, through a filter, if you will. And therefore, the answer to what could be powerful enough to have us creating a world that none of us as individual would choose is the power of ideas. Human beings don't see the world as it is, but as we are. What are the filters that we see through? They determine literally what we can see and what we cannot see. And now that's all well and good if we're alive in a moment, if our mental map is fundamentally life-serving. But the thesis of EcoMind is that you and I are alive at this moment in which the dominant mental map, the one that's going global, is fundamentally life-destroying. I'll jump to the punchline of the book. It's life-destroying because it is actually perversely aligned. In the book I say mal-aligned, but since then I've been saying it's really perversely aligned with the laws of nature and with what we know about our own nature. So that's the punchline, but let me take you there. Just a very simple illustration of what I mean, a very homey one. Last Thanksgiving I got up in the morning ready to make my favorite root vegetable dish because 33 people were coming for Thanksgiving dinner. And I rushed down and knew where that thing was, that Dutch oven, my favorite way to cook my root vegetables, and it wasn't there. It wasn't in the upper cupboard. It wasn't in the basement. Oh, I got so frustrated. I gave up. I turned around, and well, about an hour later, I turned around and there it was. Except that it had a plant in it. I was looking for a kitchen item, not a planter. So I couldn't see it, even though it's large and red. It's not inconspicuous. So that's a very homey case in point, that we see what we expect to see and can't see what's outside of our mental map. And so, to simplify, I describe our dominant mental map, the one that we've absorbed like an invisible ether here, is a map that many would call a mechanical worldview. I refer to it as the scarcity mind. And it's characterized by 3 S's. So proud of myself, I got the alliteration here. 3 S's. Okay, the S of separateness, that we are all separate from one another, disconnected from one another, that basic reality is stasis, it's fixed. And it is characterized by scarcity. There is not enough of anything. There's not enough goods and there's not enough goodness. There's not enough goods in the world, whether we're talking about energy or whether we're talking about food or you name it, parking places here tonight, or goodness in us. Because if you peel away the fluff, what you could count on for sure, and the only thing you can count on, is that human beings are selfish, materialistic, and competitive.